All right, so the thing is, I would think we would let them do 46s, take away the lowest number.
What?
46s, take away the lowest number, and then that's their stat.
Why are we rolling? I thought the new thing was to do point by.
Okay,
Makes everything more even.
Or I've seen people do the array, but I've always
the array.
done. Yes, with it.
What are you playing, like some kind of weird like hybrid?
No. What I'm saying is, I've always done rolling. Why can't we do rolling?
I don't know. Let's discuss that.
All right, well, let's discuss it. Welcome back, episode 2, Murder and Conspiracy. We're your hosts. We're talking about creating a game to play as DMs in Dungeons and Dragons.
If you guys don't know what that is, it is probably the best game ever.
Ever.
Now, we may sound like geeks or nerds, and to some of you who've never played it before, maybe you've seen it on Stranger Things or seen other like popular topics. I think what's that Critical Role and some of these other big, big name things. Yeah,
but no, I trying to figure out what stat method to use, and we've always when we used to play back in the day,
okay, hold up, let's turn it back. Okay,
turn it back.
Those people who don't know, have never played D&D, you roll for stat blocks, or you have stats: strength, constitution, intelligence, dexterity, wisdom, charisma, and not necessarily that order, but each one determines like abilities, like how strong you are, how tough you are, that kind of stuff.
But Crow,
what?
Didn't think they got here, they already knew? Maybe?
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Okay,
fine,
maybe.
Fine,
we'll give
whatever.
you that. We'll give you maybe some
Okay.
of the people who haven't, but yeah.
So, there is this, what's it called? DM Rule 0?
Rule 0.
Rule 0 basically states that it's pretty much the DM's decision for any role whatsoever. I mean, there are people who play exactly by the rules, who got, some people who, like only change a few rules, some people who it's like it determines, like, if they want to do something special, that's fine. Now, in this case, we're talking specifically about rolling, or about creating characters, and in character creation, one of those options is to roll dice to determine the stats,
which was the method we owed.
And that was, I think that's the original. I think we started playing AD&D.
Yeah,
first, second edition. I think I actually found one of my first character sheets from like '96. It's all dated and everything. It's completely horrible. That's a whole nother story.
That's not even the original.
Yeah, it's not even the original. Yeah,
well before that.
We did play well before that, but that's one of my. I remember that's one of my older ones, or at least one of the ones that survived. Anyway, so I think the rule was you roll 3d6, which is for most people it's just a regular dice, 6-sided, and you take those, add them together, and I forget, it's d6, and then it's plus.
No, I think it's just flat, like what you have remaining.
Yeah, because the max can be 18.
Yeah.
The lowest can be 3.
Some DMs will change it up a little bit. They'll say, okay, you rolled a 1, go ahead and
there's a popular variant of that, which is a 4d6 and re-roll 1. So like, or drop 1. Some of them are, you roll 4 of them and you take the 3 highest. Some of them are like re-rolling 1s, so that way you're not stuck with crazy low numbers. Although crazy low numbers can make for a very interesting RP.
Yeah.
If you don't know what RP means, it's role playing.
I mean, even that, it's like some people play for the challenge, so they're like, no, we're going to be stickler. That's why they have what the stat array, where you choose your stats is like 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so each stat you
that's right.
assign.
Okay. Yeah, stat array. I think we started playing a campaign where you start with that.
We did do that.
And that's interesting. It can actually create some good variants. You can play around with it because you get bonuses depending on the race, class, that kind of stuff. The other one is the point buy system, which I believe it starts with, every stat starts with 8, and then you get 27 points, and then point buys are, the cost is like, it's a point per, it's like 8 is 0, 9 is 1, 2, 3, and then I think at like 8 or not, like 8 or 9, I think it starts jumping up by like 2s or 3s. I don't know. It's been a while, but
yeah, it gets up.
It's a little confusing. But what it does is allows for, you can have a character, like I think I remember correctly. If you can have a character that can max min, what they call min maxing. So you have 3 stats that are your highest, which is 15, 15, 15, 15, and then the low would be 13, 13, 13.
But he doesn't know the exact numbers probably, but
yeah,
you know, it's something like, you know, it's something around there where you kind of just play with the numbers and make 3 high, and then 3. The rest low.
And there's ones where they do like evens where it's like, you know, like 14s and then 13s, so it's like all kind of midline, you know, and then you do your bonuses for your race and stuff like that.
But you were thinking we should use that method for a game that we're looking into DMing. And
yes, but I wanted to create a variant for that. The only reason I was suggesting this is because it kind of depends on how you do your game. Some people, like with the advent of technology, there's people who play online. There's Roll20. There's, you know, people who play on like Skype between each other, Discord. There's people who,
yeah, I've done a Discord game with a few friends I've met on,
and there's different ways to roll dice. And so, one of the things is like if you're bringing in people that may not always be there, or it's hard to get together for character creation maybe, and you know, if you're going to be rolling dice, you're going to have like the DM or other people verify that your rolls. It's kind of, you know, so you don't have anybody cheating. Not that you assume anybody's cheating, but you know, sometimes you roll a 1, you kind of want to knock it over to a 3 or something.
Yeah, well, you know, some people are, oh yeah, no, I rolled 18s all the way.
Yeah.
Well, no, there was a 16 and a 50. It was just my best rolls ever. And you're like,
right,
well, can you prove it? And this takes all that down.
So what this does is allows for, if you go, okay, I want you to go ahead and spend the time, spend your backstory. But a lot of that's hard when you don't really have your stats, because you can't really say, well, you know, I'm really strong, and then you roll your stats, and then, you know, you want to use your strength as your dump stat. It's kind of difficult. So what this does is it allows for people to go ahead and do their stats, and, you know, it's easily verifiable, and then go from there.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it was one of the better ways that you came up with.
What this allows for is that people to spend the time, create a backstory, get an image in their mind of how who their people are. Maybe they have an accent. Maybe they have, you know, maybe they're like really good at something but really bad at something. Maybe they're afraid of stuff. And all this, like when you're playing, what it does in your mind when you start playing this, it allows that immersion into playing. That's kind of part of the point of D&D to me.
Yeah, which is really good that we're going with that you know, the point buy, because you can go, all right, this is what we're gonna do. Take your time. You're not going to be rushed when you're making your character. It's not like, okay, come in, we're doing session 0, where you sit down and, okay, we roll it out, and then people are like, well, I want to play, and so then everything starts to get rushed. But we say, look, you can go ahead and make your characters, and this works for a lot of people who have played.
For those of you who don't know, like, for personally, I love rolling. We tend to use the 4d6, you know, drop 1. That's kind of our homegrown rule. Reroll 1s if you can. But like what we're intending to do is we're trying to do this maybe a little bit more publicly, and you guys are going to learn about that pretty soon. But what this does is it allows us, because we want to kind of keep things kind of open to everybody who we deal with. So we're going to say, okay, here's our array, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to do a little variant. That way people can understand exactly what people's stats are, where they came from, why. What this does is it allows more of a transparency when we're doing something more public. Our variant of this rule, I believe, if we've kind of agreed on this, is the point array, but instead of starting at a stat 8, we're starting at, I think, a 9 or a 10.
10. We're just going to do 10.
10.
I already told people.
And then 27 point buy. So basically, you're just shifting it up by 2 for the entire array. So that way the minimum stat is 10, the maximum stat is 17. But it's still kind of varied. Like you can't buy all the stats, obviously. You know, so I think it'll allow for a more interesting thing.
It's good because
when you're really creating heroes, I don't think a hero is going to have a below 10 stat. Although there are people who, you know, you can play that. And if our people who are going to play, they say that they want to play a character who has a low stat for a specific reason, we're more than happy to allow.
Yeah, we have adjustments.
A rule 0.
Yeah, we have adjustments in play for the stat system we're using for that as well, and it's going to be good because we're like, I'm really emphasis on backstory, character development, playing your character with the role play intent. So when we do this, you're going to see people, and if they're not so great at it at first, you're going to watch them grow because they're going to learn as they go to be that RP, that background centric characters, and have more fun. And that's what we like.
Exactly. I've been thrown into games where I basically just like, okay, pick your race, pick your class, blah blah, and then kind of like roll it in. And I've done that, and at first I'm like, oh, you know, and then suddenly like something happens and I figure out, yeah, I think my character would have that kind of backstory.
Yeah.
And then boom, suddenly like I'm adding flair, I'm adding a dialect, you know, like I think one of my characters right now, I'm a rogue who has really low intelligence, which is terrible for rogues, by the way. But I'm playing that character, so you know, yeah, I'll try to pick a lock, and I can succeed a couple times. If I can't, I'm gonna knock that door down.
Although, in fairness, it does make for interesting story when you're watching this rogue fail constantly at life, and you're like, well, I wasn't really going for that in my character. Anyway, with that
but you gotta kind of play what you're given sometimes. And
so like we said, we're trying to give people time to develop a character, and then we want to give them the immersion when they play or people watch them play. It gives them that sense. I mean, there are people out there that do it. Matt Mercer's wonderful with his critical role. He does everything, you know. But
Mark Humes from High Rollers is his maybe not as good as as Mercer, but I'm telling you, definitely he adds that flair. He adds those like character like specifics, and he does those descriptions that just kind of really get you.
It's that immersion into the story. And it's more about the story than, you know, running in and just I want to constantly kill stuff because that's what I think it is about.
If you want a DM that clearly does the rule 0, especially if you've created your own campaign or kind of tweaked a normal D&D campaign, a lot of times that you know, like if a character says, you know, I really want to like shoot an arrow and like try to bank it off this shield and hit the person, you know, let them roll for it.
Right.
Set the DC a little higher. Set this, you know, set those challenges.
You either use your stat abilities, or
it adds that flair because otherwise, no, you can only, you know. Those are
however, there's something I want to interject here. Sometimes there are DMs that take rule 0 way too far,
way too hard,
and then that just really kind of damages the game. And they're playing.
That's when you start fighting with characters,
their own malicious intent to just do whatever they want, and then they don't make it fun for the players. And that's why
a lot of that
D&D is.
I think a lot of that comes from like when you write a story and you put your heart and soul into something, and then the characters completely like don't go on the avenue that you intended.
Well, but as a good DM, you would be able
as
to
a good
find
DM,
a way to
the point is trying to find a way to get those characters, to bring them to the story, and like do it with
I was gonna say sometimes the story isn't always
sometimes and you gotta roll with it.
It's about the characters.
Sometimes you gotta roll with it, and that's. And some people use that. Well, I'm DM, and you know, if you try to do that, you're just gonna die. And
I don't like that. But you can see by our we've got kind of our feelings about that. He's had he's had experiences where like the players have just completely derailed this game. He's like, no, I had an intricate story, and I was like, well, sometimes the players make the story.
Exactly.
You know, so you got to be able to balance. But there are what was it, DM dictators who were like, it's all about their story, and if you're not, but you shouldn't play that character. No, your character's not going to be like, I have a better idea, you're going to play this because it just fits my story better.
It ruins the enjoyment of like. Yeah, it's like, no, you don't want somebody in Monopoly telling you like, oh, you shouldn't definitely buy that because
No, don't buy Boardwalk.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy Boardwalk because it fits my personality better. And you go ahead and you buy something else. I forgot. So I was on. I said Park Place,
whatever.
Which is the
railroad stations.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Well. So, anyways, why don't you guys tell us like if you play D&D, and if you don't, what do you think when you rolling a character, or not? I say rolling a character because it's kind of what we do when you're creating a character, regardless of race, class, all that kind of stuff. What do you think is the best option for character creation? Do you think rolling stats is a must? Do you think the point array is great? Do you think that point buy? There's a difference, right?
The array.
There's array and a point buy. I apologize. I think I said earlier array, and I mixed it up. So I think it's
at this point. I think they kind of get where we're going.
They get where we're going.
Yeah.
So tell us, what do you think? Do you have your own? Because I've seen some crazy stuff out there. I've seen like, roll D12 and add 6 or something like that, or like for each stat. I've seen people roll like 4 or 5 times, and then you take the best of whatever. I mean, what do you think? Whether you've played or not, if you want to learn, if you learn a little bit, you're just learning. If you're an old school player like some of us, even older than us, because we have a lot of friends that have been playing it for 30, 40 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
However long it's been going on. I've still got friends that play first edition, second edition, have a whole game going on, and more power to them. I played 3.3 and 3.5 for 5, 6, 7 years.
Some people even like Pathfinder more than anything else.
And you know what? And I've played GURPS. I've played God, you probably name it. We've probably tried it.
Yeah. Shadowrun.
Oh, dude.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there because
Shadowrun
give that its due. Because we had a DM that
the problem is, I think,
ran Shadowrun, he ran it so good. Like, he just created the world, and then from that point on, I don't think like any time I ever played it anywhere else, I'm like, what's this game we're playing?
He definitely had it on point when it came to Shadowrun. He was like the best DM I've ever had for that game specifically.
Yeah,
I've had DMs that are better for like D&D and other stuff, but he had that specific tech, cyberpunk, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it was really good.
I forgot how they did their stats. That's a whole different.
But what was really cool is instead of rolling like D20s with that one, they would roll D6s. And so like, remember if you hit 6, you roll again, and or at least that was how he had it, which was, it could have been a rule 0 for him, but I don't remember because it's been so long since I played. But
also, speaking of rule 0, tell us your favorite rule 0. If there's a specific thing in D&D that you go, you know what, the way they do this and the rule set's kind of weird. I like the way our campaign does it, or our DM does it.
Yeah, well, this is definitely like
been an
our
excellent
first touch in on the Dungeons and Dragons or role playing as conversation. I'm pretty sure we're going to touch on way more.
There's probably a specific reason why we're talking about D&D. Maybe a certain project in the future.
Projects
in the future.
We just too many projects. Anyway.
No, not too many.
Yeah, we're going to do whatever we can. And if you get, like he was telling you, if you want us to talk about a specific topic that relates to Dungeons and Dragons, throw it down here in the comments. Tell us, like you're saying, your favorite rules. Maybe times where the rule was hard-coded to be one thing, and then they rule 0'd it, and it just made the experience totally crazy, and then tell us your story about it. That's great, and maybe we'll bring it up at the next time. We're like, oh yeah, last time we had this discussion. But I'm glad you guys are watching.
We really enjoyed that you guys stayed here, watched, that you came to. I totally lost my thought.
The Murder and Conspiracy talk show.
Yeah, thank you for coming to the Murder and Conspiracy talk show. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share the video. All your friends, family,
Well said.
Put it on them.
Well said.
If you look in the description, there's a link to all of our social profiles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our website.
Yeah, you'll see all the social media down there. So if we forget saying it's there. But with the caveat of we're always working on refining. It's all kind of a work in progress until we get that final, and we'll probably even change it again after that week.
Absolutely.
But you know, it's been great.
Remember, let us know what you think.
And thank you. Good night.
Oh,
wait.
And remember, I think we're going to be on every week on Fridays. A new video should be posted.
Every week on Fridays.
Every week on Fridays.
However, we are trying to make it 2 times a week.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Right now, our schedule is Fridays. Every week on Fridays. We're going to try to do 2 to 3 times a week. We're just trying to get our schedules to work out.
And definitely, if we get a lot of viewer interaction and a lot of love for this and spread and all that stuff, we're more than likely, yeah, let's get this out. We're doing it for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, thank you for coming.
Yep. Thank you.
Goodbye.